Ripple, the company, was selected to serve on the Federal Reserve's Faster Payment Steering Committee. What's up, guys? Kevin Cage here with another cryptocurrency update. Before diving into some XRP news, I had to cover a few of the things going on with Solana, and its ticker is S.O.L, which I do find ironic. Notice their lending platform called SOLANA, which is all DeFi based, votes to temporarily control the whale accounts. So all of the users of this Solana-based DeFi service came together and voted to control the largest whale account to mitigate the liquidation risk. And this is because this whale account has an extremely large margin position. And if that were to be liquidated, that would create a cascading effect, not only to Solana, but most likely to other networks as well. Terra Luna went from over $100 to zero very quickly. And that without a doubt affected the market. Why? Because it dropped Bitcoin. And then when Bitcoin went lower, that pulls the rest of the altcoin market down. We can also see right here, over $20 million in Solana will be liquidated via over-the-counter trades. This is due to the fact that on-chain liquidation can cause turbulence in the DeFi markets of Solana, without a doubt. So please be safe if you are holding any Solana, because they could be S.O.L. We can see well over a 500x or over a 50,000% increase since 2020. Now we know that all the VCs got in here, and of course positive news, positive news. And please remember, looking at the Bitcoin price chart when we were creating all-time highs the first time for 65K back in April last year, and then of course even recently in November to hit 69K per BTC. When prices were hitting all-time high prices and they drop positive news, it is 10 times more believable because we can see the price action backing it. So that euphoria that we feel in the crypto market is on steroids when we actually can see the price backing that up. But even going back to this low, and even March 2020, and when prices dump and there's bad news that is circulating everywhere while prices are at lower prices, it is significantly more believable. We second guess ourselves. Many people will panic sell. In crypto, you may be able to buy the bottom and sell the top perfectly once or twice, but for the most part, we just have to capitalize on what happens in between. So forget the idea that you're going to buy the absolute bottom to the wick and you're going to sell the absolute top. You don't need to. Because within these massive swings, there's still opportunity. I mean, even back here, that was a 3.5x or a 250% move. So there are still multiple 100% swings in the crypto market that are going to occur for a variety of altcoins. And if you have a dollar cost average buy and hold strategy, that can still work out extremely well if you're patient. Because even from that low, Bitcoin still did roughly a 15x from that low. And remember, some altcoins have done a 10x from the low, a 50x, or even Solana did a 500x. And no, I'm not touching Solana. I don't care if it does, a 10x or even a 50x from here. I just can't risk it. The people that made the most money in SOL were buying it when it was really around 1 year old and just waiting. And as you can see, there's just big cups and handles. So we can see this cup, almost like a double bottom, but it creates a lower low and then boom. Right here, 1, 2, 3, essentially a triple bottom, a clear double bottom at this level, and then boom. We have to wait out the cups for a variety of these assets. And no, I'm not referring to Solana. I'm just using this as an example because what assets are going to draw a similar fractal like this, even if it's more stretched out and it takes longer? There will be altcoins that follow this because every single crypto asset that I've seen is following a similar fractal to an early Bitcoin fractal or an early Ethereum fractal. But anyways, with Solana, it's just super ironic that all the biggest influencers talk about Solana, shill it when it did a 500x in the past 2 years, yet they call XRP the centralized scam coin, which is just laughable because they're literally stepping in to control the network, which actually shows and proves that Solana is centralized. And these are Bitcoin maxis that hate XRP, yet they love Solana. In reality, we are all just justifying our own beliefs to fit our own narrative, including me. So on XRPL.org, you can always learn more about the XRP ledger. Is the XRP ledger a private blockchain owned by Ripple? No. The XRP ledger is decentralized and it's 100% public. For consensus, instead of 51%, you need at least 80% of the network to agree. And Ripple's just a contributor to the network. When it comes to validation, there are over 150 validators on the network, with over 35 validators on this default unique node list, or you could just say DUNL. And out of those, Ripple just runs 6. So instead of falling for FUD and all these crazy news headlines, head right to XRPL.org and you can learn exactly what you need to about the XRP ledger. We can see there are over 72 million ledgers closed with a 10-year track record without error. Meanwhile, Solana has been down roughly 7 times in the past 1 year alone and has been down, at least I've heard, 12, if not more times. There are other contenders and competitors of Solana in this ecosystem that in my opinion are far superior, less centralized than Solana, and have significantly more uptime and reliability. Cough, cough, Casper. So sometimes I feel like Terra Luna was a very interesting experiment with algorithmic stablecoins, and now I feel like Solana is really just another beta test for something more. Now, could Solana be here and survive the years ahead because of the huge backing, the huge VCs behind it? Absolutely. But I'm personally going to steer clear, and that's just my opinion. Okay, so we're on coinmarketcap.com. We can see Bitcoin is at 20,700 today, doing a little bounce today on this Monday, and we can see Solana still in the top 10. XRP down to rank number 8. We can see a lot of stable coins like BUSD, USDC, and Tether. And that's how you know when we're really early, is when there's a lot of stable coins in the top 10 instead of actual networks providing utility. So some people say, oh man, we don't have utility. That's actually a good thing, because that means that when utility comes, prices go even higher. If we are just dancing around thanks to a Bitcoin bull run and a typical cycle, and XRP still went up to $2 previously, almost $4, what do you think happens to the price of these assets when utility comes and a real volume is flowing through these networks? The prices will reach levels we've never seen before, in a good way. I saw some talk about the SEC with Elon Musk and Dogecoin. I mean, just to show you how early we are, and I hope Flare Networks helps connect the Doge community to the XRP ledger, to Algorand, to Litecoin. But Dogecoin, a meme coin with an infinite supply, and that's in the top 10, and people haven't caught on. Now, does Dogecoin go to $1 someday? Maybe, but I'm not touching it. Now, pardon my ignorance if you guys are a Tron holder, if you know the ecosystem really well, tell me a reason why I should be bullish on it. But from what I know, I mean, looking at Avalanche, looking at Algorand, looking at Hedera or HBAR, how on earth is Tron ranked above them? Personally, I think that will change in the future. Next up, by the HBAR Foundation, they are announcing partnerships left and right. We can see Dropper NFT is a new partner to support their gaming non-fungible token launchpad and marketplace. This platform will work to bridge game developers, players, and streamers for Web 2 into Web 3, built on Hedera. When in doubt, zoom out. Look at all the price history for HBAR. So when you look at assets that have exploded to different impulse levels or fib extensions, we know that Terra Luna came up to the 89 fib perfectly. I can't add it without removing one of these, so I'm just going to leave it. The highest one I have is the 55 fib extension. Now, other assets, to be way more conservative, still reach a 4.236 in the future. That's $1.50. Either way, even from these prices to get back up to the 4.236, that is essentially a 2,000% move, which is over a 20x return. So $1,000 turns into $20,000. Now, even if we go lower from here, yes, I've still been buying crypto here and there this month. I mean, from the all-time high price, we can see that HBAR wick to wick was about 90%. If you were buying Hedera up here, why on earth would you not take this opportunity to dollar cost average and buy it here? If your average price was 25 cents and now you're buying a bunch at 7 cents, you're going to be able to get your average price down to 15 cents, down to 10 cents. And then when it goes to $1, you were making so much more than ever before. Is it easy? Hell no. Cryptocurrency investing can be some of the most stressful, the most emotionally draining or intense thing you'll do. But for me, it also provides the highest opportunity for insane rewards. And I'll go to the grave saying this, HBAR of Hedera Hashgraph will be a top 10 crypto asset. Will it be in 1 year? Will it be in 5 years? It doesn't matter. It's going to happen. And if you believe that the cryptocurrency market is going to go to 10 trillion, to 100 trillion, what do you think these assets in the top 10 will have in terms of a market capitalization? It's going to be really high. Next up, XRP Crypto Wolf. XRP is number 2 on the top 10 current trending searches. This is another partnership by HBAR Foundation. Pay attention to the companies that are building during the bear market, are building when prices are down. They don't care because they're future-proofing. So this partnership was announced a couple weeks ago, but this will increase adoption of HTS, and MIOO, I'm just going to say MU, introduces partner brands to Web3 and connects their assets with millions of items in the metaverse. Now remember that Ubisoft, one of the biggest gaming companies in the world, I believe we went over their market cap and they were like ranked number 10. We also showed Sony, we also showed Nintendo, which could be in the future. But Ubisoft has a really good network and they are on the governing council on Hedera's website. So they're going to be helping them connect to a lot of important gaming companies as well. This is all strategic. We can also see Avery Dennison is partnered with Hedera to account for carbon emissions of billions of unique items. This is all about reducing the carbon footprint. Now remember this huge announcement. Now this came out a while back, but now they're really starting to market it. The HBAR Foundation and Headstarter. They're doing an IDO launchpad, meaning there's going to be projects building and launching on Hedera. So you know how Ethereum is a number 2 asset with hundreds of thousands of ERC20 tokens and projects built on Ethereum. Well, Hedera and some other layer 1 projects are going to be doing the same thing. The more value, the more utility, and the more projects built and running on Hashgraph, the better for HBAR, the more demand there is for the token. This is Headstarter.org. This is a launchpad of the Hedera Hashgraph ecosystem. Meanwhile, David Santiago, Casper. So thank you for listing a few new Casper exchanges. We can see StealthX, Change Now, Swap Zone, Coin98. Good to see that additional volume, but let's be real. I want to see Binance listed, Binance US, KuCoin, Gemini, Coinbase, Kraken, and FTX. And even if you don't like these exchanges or don't use them, I want them for their liquidity, their daily volume. A simple Binance listing guarantees, 8 figures of liquidity on a daily basis, maybe even more. Sometimes you'll see certain assets with $100 million. Now, even if it's wash trading, it's still significantly more real than some of those other fake exchanges that we talked about, like Coinbean. And also, Uphold, I love you guys, but I'm begging your employees every time I talk to them, if you do not let us withdraw our Casper, do not bother listing it. We want to be able to stake our assets on chain. We want to be able to move our money how we want to. That's why we're coming to the crypto market, whether that be XDC, Casper, DAG, anything in the future. Next up, big congrats to XSpectre. This is another asset that is on the XRP ledger. You can add the trust line within the Sum wallet right on your mobile application. And they've been listed on Bitmart and I believe also Bitrue, so congrats, slowly but surely. We can see by Greenmaker, they're working on a metaverse with world-class artists, and we can see their team, Unreal Engine, the world's most open and advanced real-time 3D tool. I've seen a lot of the avatars they've been sharing, so pretty cool to see these concepts. Also, digital asset investor sharing. Now, this is Brian Brooks. He was formerly the acting comptroller of currency for the United States, and I've always heard him say positive things about Chris Larson and the company Ripple. If you guys listen to those old calls, we were doing videos on that, I believe in like 2020. And one thing that's important is we see that Coinbase, a lot of these exchanges are illiquid now, and they have to lay off employees. We're talking hundreds of layoffs or a huge percentage of their company. Meanwhile, while the CEO of Coinbase just bought like a, 8-figure, 9-figure mansion, which is absurd, and then he lays off, 14% of his workforce? Well, Ripple, the company's ready, and they said that they're sitting on $1 billion in cash. And also, this is an absolute must-see thread by Jeremiah Crypto. So sharing XRP and Ripple, cross-border payment system that uses on-demand liquidity to provide quick and cheap settlement to institutions worldwide. ODL, the importance is it removes the need for pre-funding all around the globe, what I like to call just-in-case money. This cuts operating expenses. This unlocks capital for business. They don't have to take massive loans. They don't have to wait 2 to 5 days for local rails. They can do it instantly. This is ISO compliant. Also, RippleNet is SOC 2 certified. World Economic Forum has mentioned XRP as a payment coin many times for wholesale, not retail. Wholesale is the big money. Spoke at Davos alongside many of my favorite projects, recognized by the IBF. They're on the International Monetary Fund Advisory Board. Visited the SEC frequently. This is in the public calendar, even meeting with Jay Clayton years ago, who's the former SEC chair, and he's no better than Gary Gensler. They're working with over 300 financial institutions from 55 countries, and guess what? According to Ashish Birla, even back in March, and I'll play those clips in the future, he said that RippleNet almost has global coverage. So imagine, RippleNet's just building, essentially getting global coverage for every single bank and financial institution in the world during this lawsuit, and when clarity comes, boom. Banks use Ripple, including CIMB, Bank of America, SEB, and many more. Take a look at a few of these screenshots. This is what I was referring to for wholesale central bank digital currencies right here for XRP. So XRP is an internetwork between, and JPM is intra. It's all closed, it's permissioned, centralized. Bank of America has been testing Ripple since 2016. Yep, they have neighboring offices right in San Francisco. Banks supporting Ripple, some of the biggest you can see. And look at this, by the Federal Reserve, and this is why I was pointing out the connections of the DTCC in the past. Ripple, the company, was selected to serve on the Federal Reserve's Faster Payment Steering Committee. Is that a coincidence? No. Also selected to serve on the International Monetary Fund of the world's advisory group on fintech. Bitcoin maxis don't know this. We know the Bank of International Settlements, the central bank of all central banks, by the way, proposes the need for cross-border payment systems to improve speed and transparency. SWIFT is outdated, needs an upgrade. We did a video on this a week or two ago. The one group that SWIFT handpicked to help them, kind of like a tech provider, recognized Ripple and named XRP specifically and said that that is a viable option. And this is Graham Bright right here, Eurum XM Bank, in quotes. He's of this bank. He says that we may see XRP moving across the SWIFT network as a currency. Not me, not a YouTuber, a banker. So this is what all of us have been trying to share for the past few years, despite price. They're also founding members of the Digital Pound Foundation with Quant, Avalanche, and I believe Electroneum. And for all you XDC fans, we have R3 Corda, also in the central bank digital currency game, integrated with XRP. This is a little older, but 90% of central banks are exploring or implementing CBDCs. This will happen. Whether it's fiat or central bank digital currencies, we still need a highly liquid neutral bridge asset. That's XRP. And this is actually what I said earlier. Look, over 70 million transactions and 10 years. So I was saying the over 72 million ledgers closed without a single mistake, ever. Not like Solana, which has been down roughly a dozen times in its lifetime. Something that has been tried and true for 10 years is what central banks will and are adopting. And R3 reveals the payments app with XRP. And I know this is older, and Corda is agnostic, they're future-proofing, but of course XRP was one of the first assets to be named to be integrated, and they will be using others. Now I know we've shown this before. Remember the IMF document showed XRP as a wholesale use case? Well, now we even have a retail use case example with the country Bhutan. This is an awesome thread, so just Jeremiah Crypto must follow, guys. So this is Jeremiah Crypto. Also talking about the stablecoins being built, we can see on the XRP ledger, by the way. And also Harvard recently citing XRP as a solution to the digital dollar shared by Harley, so big thank you. There's just a lot to look at it, guys. Yes, there's trust lines you can take a look at. There's side chains for easy development. And also pathfinding finds the best path to settle payments. So just like with the Internet of Information, we're finding the most efficient path to stream data packets. Imagine that for value. We also have hooks, shout out Matt Hamilton bringing smart contracts to the XRP ledger. Now, pathfinding is fascinating, and it makes me also think of micropayments and streaming of payments in real time. David Short said it could be a massive use case. So we have micropayments, we have NFTs, yeah, we have cross-border payments and trillions of dollars. There's a lot going on. You can look at the founders and some of the backers behind it. And this is a fraction of the Ripple team, spot on. You go look at the market cap, their max supply, circulating supply, the rest is an escrow, programmatically locked. And it's going to be a slow and steady release over time, and that will not affect price. It has gone up like 3 to 4%, the same as Ethereum. And they have a max supply, which is capped. So I'm not worried about that long term. And here's a few US exchanges, BitTrue, KuCoin, Uphold, and Mexi. So huge thank you for the tag. This is a beautiful thread. But alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you learned anything at all, please let me know in the comments down below. And big thank you to all that like and subscribe. As always, you can find all links in the YouTube video description or my link tree on Twitter. And please beware of any Kevin Cage impersonators in the YouTube comments. Until next time.